Is it Gandalf or Professor Dumbledore or Santa? I have no idea. This is the white stoneware from Trinity Ceramics in Dallas. I thought it's so putty-like. I bet it would be fantastic to sculpt with. It's so great. This was gnome number 1, and I couldn't figure out his little beard. So he is in porcelain, and he dried out way too quickly for me to do anything with him. And these are really staying happy. The other thing is, I just threw these this morning, and they're not drying out as they sit out here on the table, but they're also not too wet to work with. Really liking that. So much fun. And I'm at the point on this little guy that I need to stop touching it. And I'm not very good at that. I really like touching things. This one had a weak spot in the top when I closed it up, so it got this spiral thing, which I've just accentuated with my fingers and really made it twist around. Really liked it a lot. But when you're looking at these, if you'll notice on these two here, you have the one with the full-on feet, right? Is that not hilarious? Yes. That is the cutest thing ever. One with the full-on feet, right? And the one whose robe comes all the way to the ground. One easy way to delineate which one you're gonna do is if it looks like a Christmas tree, you're gonna want to do this one. It's just gonna be easier. But if you've got a little indentation at the bottom, you can accentuate that more to the inside and get something more like this. This one is definitely going to be this style with the little feet versus this style with the robe coming all the way down. So this one could go either way, but this one is definitely a Gandalf / Dumbledore style. Deciding which side is the front first, and I've decided which side is the front before, and then put my feet in, and then my feet didn't want to go there, so I don't consider the front decided until I have my hat in the right place and my feet in the right place. And then I'm ready for the nose. And I reach in from the inside and I poke them out. A little nose. And now he has a little nose. And once I have a nose, then I can do the same thing and give him a little tush. And I have to push in as much as I have to push out. This little guy is a little thick. Yeah, but that's okay. Some of us are thicker than others. That is okay. So then when you're setting the coil for his hat, you're probably going to want to play with it a little bit before actually slipping and scoring it, because he could have a really tall hat on, or he could have a really short hat on. He could have a hat that comes up the back, or he could have a hat that comes up in the front. Make sure it's where you want it before you glue it on. Just say. After I get the hat on, and I worked a little bit with some other things, now the only expression that I can put in these little guys is in their nose and their beards. So I started working with their beards. And I do that with the mustache first, because the mustache has to go forward and on top of the mouth. And then the beard has to come out from under the mouth. So you can see that real well in this one. Nose comes out, mustache comes out and goes back in, and then the beard comes down and out from there. And so I've been doing nose and then mustache. And on this one I decided I wanted a mustache because these both go down, right? This one's going to go up. Kind of a handlebar-esque kind of a thing. I could give him a little mouth like that too. They just kind of pop out at me. Before I get into sculpting the face too much, because as I pull in the arms, they're going to shift everything around. Just like as I did the butt, you can see the butt there and there. So that's the back of the arms. So now I need to get the front of the arms in there. And so I'm going to try and hold on to this and kind of pinch in where the front of the arms would be. So you can kind of see what I'm doing there. Just kind of squeezing that on both sides. But it's going to distort everything in the facial area. So I want to do this before I carve on the face. Hoo-wee! That was kind of hard. Making the folds and the sleeves look. I honestly think I might have been able to learn how to do hands in the same amount of time. Okay, so now that I've done that, if I've squeezed too hard or something, I can go in and I can push out. I can kind of define anything that I want to define. I can smooth out all the fingernail marks. It's about time to really work on the details of the face. So that means carving in any kind of hair that I want to go into here, really deciding what I want that nose to look like. Do I want it to be more pointy? Do I want it to stick out more? I'm kind of past the point that I can push it back in, but and then how I want, like, I can carve this in real nice and deep here. See how it looks like there's an undercut there. There is an undercut there, but it looks like the eyes are up underneath that undercut, and that really puts the eyes are just tucked up underneath the hat there. See? Love it. Love it, love it, love it. I have to stop because I feel like I'm doing more damage than good. But isn't he adorable? I find it very interesting because this guy is clearly sitting down. I made him exactly the same way that I made these two. But these two guys are clearly standing up, and this guy is clearly sitting down. I have no idea what caused that. But he sure is cute. Aren't you cute? Anything, just little tiny stuff, I can get that off at bone dry, and I think I will do less potential damage if I get anything else off. I added him some little cheeks because I wanted him to smile real big, and when you smile real big, you have real big cheeks. He is so cute. Oh my gosh, they're so hilarious. These guys can be brothers. It's like if ZZ Top were gnomes. This little dude. You guys are fantastic. Yes, you are. Super fun. This is a fantastic way to practice closing a form. For example, this form closed really nicely. He has a nice tall, even, all the way down. This form, I got to right here, and I lost that area right there, and I just stopped the wheel altogether and pinched the rest of his, what was left, closed. And then afterwards, I kind of tried to shape it a little bit. I added a little to the top. This little guy, you can see the ripples in his hat here. This little guy just flat out twisted in my hands while it was on the wheel. So this is a really, really great way to practice a closed form. It actually is usable if you don't get it done right. I love these. They just come alive in my hands, and it just makes me so happy. Kind of like the fairy houses. Very much like the fairy houses. I have no idea what they're going to look like before I start working on them, and then voila, at the end, I end up with something that I love. I love them. I love them all! Art is never finished. It is only abandoned. I have no idea who said that. Wasn't me. So, stick that in the comments, will you? Do you know who said that? Because I say it all the time, but I am not the originator of it. I read it somewhere. So, oh my gosh, I gotta stop. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for just being there. Just thanks. All right, somebody tell me to stop. Because I don't need to. I have other things to do.